You know what the deal is. I'm buying my books. I got my cuppa, even though I literally cannot drink this for maybe another 10 minutes because I literally just poured it from the kettle. So honestly, this feels like it's for show for me, but I really do want to drink a cup of tea. Hi, I'm Martina. Right, even though I am all for hearing from new authors, discovering new stories, sometimes it's good to just read something you know you're going to enjoy and just sink into the book and the experience and the pleasure of just reading it. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. Well, we're actually not going to read today. I'm just going to tell you 5 books that I really want to reread. Editing Martina chiming in here. Right, I look a mess right now, but I also look a mess in that video. There is a piece of my cat's hair stuck to my locks and I don't notice it the entire video. So if you see it too, and if it annoys you, girl, it annoyed me too whilst editing this. Also, there is one lock that just isn't in the hairband. She's struggling for dear life. So if you notice her, give her some grace, please. Thanks. There's really not much else to it, honestly. It's probably gonna be a short one, guys. So let's just get into it. Also, side note, this is my knee. So if you just think there's this weird lump, I'm like trying to figure out if it looks weird or not, or like people are able to tell that it's my knee, or it's just like in the way. Is it an eyesore? Is it giving eyesore? To be honest, guess what? I don't care if it's giving eyesore. I want to be comfortable. Sorry. First book on my list is The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. Speaking of rereading, actually, I am currently rereading it now, if you couldn't tell. I picked this book up a few years ago and I was using it for research for a university project that I was doing. Whoa. No letter came out whilst I was saying university. I promise I can speak. Not well, but I can speak. I picked it up during a university project that was about generational trauma. So I just wanted to build my knowledge on trauma. And to be honest, aren't we all traumatized? So I felt like it would be very useful for me to just get this book. But after reading it that first time, I knew I wanted a physical copy because, yeah, cool, on Kindle you can highlight stuff, but there's nothing like highlighting a book as it is and making actual like annotations with it. And I knew as I built woo girl I knew as I built my personal library collection, this was a book I wanted to add to that collection. I'm gonna be real with you. If you are quite sensitive, or if you are currently going through a phase that is quite triggering, maybe be cautious about this book. I think the reason why I enjoyed it then and I'm able to enjoy it now is because when I was kind of coming off or like going through things that were kind of traumatizing, and we're not going to share too much on the internet, but at the same time I was healing, so it was kind of okay for me to read. I don't know if any of what I'm saying to you right now makes sense. On top of that, I would say be careful when you read it. I don't know why this didn't happen the first time I read it, but recently I've been reading, I would read this before bed, basically. That's kind of my nighttime routine. I like to read closer to bed. It's just cozy for me. I like it that way. I read a couple chapters like I usually do, and when I tell you the nightmares were nightmaring, girl, things I've never even thought of were happening, and I was very much uncomfortable. It was very weird. I don't know if it's related to this book, but it felt very much like it because there was stuff in that dream that I've never experienced ever in my life, or I've never even like thought of or dreamt of. Plus I have very vivid dreams, so if you're somebody who has very vivid dreams and you are let's say an empath, maybe don't read this closer to bedtime. Maybe read it during the day so it can, you know, subside a little. The Body Keeps the Score explores the effects of trauma on different sufferers and the ways that they can respond to it, as well as future generations responding to their traumas. And on top of that, finding ways to heal the mind, the body, and the brain as well. And to me, kind of the soul. I don't know. The next book that I want to reread is Patience by Daniel Clowes, I believe. Never actually said his name out loud, so forgive me. This book is described as a cosmic time warp death trip to the primordial infinite of everlasting love. When I tell you that hurt every ounce of my brain to read, this is one of my favorite comics of all time. Absolutely love it. I love the story. I love the illustration style. I love it. I love it so much. And it's been years since I read it, so I'd love to reread it. There's something so magical about rereading something and discovering or realizing what parts you really enjoyed the first time and like kind of reliving it. It's not the same because obviously you know how you felt about it, but it's just like, oh, it's magical, it's beautiful. If you're really into like the trippy aesthetic, Patience is definitely the graphic novel for you. Think midnight gospel, kind of Rick and Morty-ish, kind of adventure timey, just really strange and bizarre, but like warming and loving at the same time. Highly recommend. Next on my list is The New Age of Empire by Kehinde Andrews. As you can tell, I don't have a physical copy of it. I originally read this on my Kindle, but it's definitely a book that I want to get a physical copy of and add to my physical library because it's incredible. Essentially, it explores the European empires and their deliberate suffering that they caused whilst they were expanding their empire. Kehinde Andrews has a particular way of writing that is very different to other people writing similar books, that is quite very to the point and very punchy, and it's just telling you as it is. Sometimes things need to just be told to you as it is for the impact to really make waves, and I really enjoy that about The New Age of Empire. This was also another book that I read whilst I was doing research for a university project, but I think it's really important to just read it for what it is as well, because it's fact, it's truth. So it definitely just needs to be one of those books that it's just like reread it and be like, oh, this is how the world is, and it's kind of sucky. The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turnton. Whoa. By Stuart Turnton. I'm not going to say too much about this book because I don't want to spoil it, but who killed Evelyn, girl? I remember thoroughly enjoying reading this book at the time I read it. It was several years ago. Let me relax. It was probably a few years ago. Me trying to figure out who killed Evelyn at the same time as like the protagonist. For a second I was like, what's the person who's the main person in the book? The protagonist. And it was just perfect. If you're into murder mysteries or like, you know, who done it kind of thing, is perfect. I loved it. It was a great nighttime read. And I remember not buddy reading it. I remember reading it whilst reading another book that was quite heavy. I can't remember what the book was, but I tend to read books like that anyways, where it's like one that's more like fiction and then non-fiction, pairing them at the same time. And this book was perfect to read in the night and just get cozy and be like, right, let's try to figure this out, and just not. I want to see if with years past now if I can pick up on the clues a little better. Because oftentimes I'm not even trying to figure it out. I'm just reading the story for what it is. Like, I just like reading the story for what it is. But this time I want to see if I can see like the author saying, hey girl, this is it. Can you figure it out? Because I don't remember figuring it out at the time. Finally, the last book on my reread list is 6 Stories by Matt Wesolowski. I'm pretty sure I have mentioned this author and this series before in a video. I don't know what video. I'll probably, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I won't. I remember mentioning this in a video, and this is the first book in the 6 Stories series. And I just have to reread it. I just have to reread it. I remember just feeling like so... Girl, let me even tell you what the book is about. Let's start off with that before I start telling you how I feel about it. Basically, 6 Stories follows an online journalist exploring the murder of a teenager, kind of like in a podcast form. So this was what was set in the first book, but each book is a different murder or different kind of crime. Think Serial in book form. If you like Serial, the podcast, book form, that is basically what 6 Stories is. I remember picking up this book and thinking, okay, let's just see what it's about, and I fell in love with it. I love the writing style. I love the whole podcasty vibe of it, because it just felt different. It felt very different to any books that I was reading at the time, and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of want to reread it for the ease of it, because I remember it feeling very easy to read in terms of, yes, it was easy to read, like you can understand the book, but also it was a very like you can switch off, there's no complications kind of thing. It was easy to follow, and it was very digestible. I highly recommend. I haven't actually finished this series, but I have to reread the first one just for the special place it has in my heart. I do wonder if I want to get the whole series as a physical copy, considering I haven't finished it. I've read 4 out of the 6 books. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. I remember reading the first one and thinking, if this disappoints me, I'm going to be thoroughly upset. But each book I've loved for different reasons. I love the writing style. I love the stories. This eyelash, girl, oh my gosh, attacked by my eyelashes. They're falling out left, right and center. When I tell you, I barely have any eyelashes, but somehow they're always in my eye. That's why I don't have any eyelashes, because they keep falling into my eyes. Yikes. Anyways, I highly recommend. I would suggest for you to pick it up, because it was a lovely old book. Well, that's that. Those are the 5 books I want to reread instead of picking up a new book. Pretty straightforward, pretty chill. I would highly recommend you picking up or trying any one of these books, because I actually really enjoyed them. I'll be a bit embarrassed if I reread them and I didn't like them as much. That's my only fear. That's why I kind of take a while to read books again. Like, I usually have a couple years or a few years in between, because I'm like, what if I end up hating this book? There is one book that, I kid you not, I read about every like 5 years. I'm yet to read it again, like during this part of my life, and I'm waiting for the day I'm like, I tire of the book. I'm like, this book is... Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. If you did, I really appreciate your presence and you being here and taking your time to watch little of me talk about books. If you like what you saw, please like the video. If you know somebody who would also like it, share it with them and encourage them to subscribe so you can see more of me. I'm not super consistent, but I'm not incredibly inconsistent. I don't know. me just lying on the internet. I'm sorry. Anyways, if you want to catch me in other internet realms, my Goodreads and my Fable will be linked below. Also, my book club will be linked below. We are currently reading How Europe Under... I cannot say it. I cannot say it. Listen, if you want to join the book club, the link is below. I refuse. I refuse. Every time I say this title, my mouth just stops and I just can't say it. It's so difficult for me to say. We're currently reading How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. So if you want to join in, please join in. Or if you just want to be part of the club and talk about other books, I would appreciate that too. My other social medias are also linked below. I am an artist, so if you want to see creative things or you just want to see me every now and then outside of books, follow me. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.